All right, so I'm a pretty heavy Spotify listener, and I say pretty heavy. I've only had premium for a couple months now, but I use Spotify all the time. And I also have this old sound system, this old Sony sound system, and it's sitting over, in the corner, and I use it a lot, to listen to music, obviously, because it's a sound system. But it is quite old in today's standards. Still works perfectly, just old. So it's not Bluetooth, and it still has the 20 pin or however many pin connector the old iPhones used to use. And it worked great when I had my 4S, but sadly we're no longer on the 20 pin connector, and we're on a Lightning connector, and my phone does not connect to it unless I connect it with the 3.5 millimeter audio jack. You know, First world problems, not really a huge deal. Um, but like I said, I like listening to my Spotify a lot, and this device, my Sony sound system, is not Bluetooth enabled. So in order to listen to really any of my music, I have to connect my phone up, and like I said, not a huge deal, but kind of an annoyance. So, you know, anyway, Spotify actually has this really cool feature called Spotify Connect. If you're watching this video, you probably already know what it is. And anyway, I'm going to show you kind of like a little glimpse of what this is right now. So let's open up Spotify. Here we go. A doo-wop playlist. We're going to play some Earth Angel by the Penguins. You can hear it probably. And now what's going to be really cool is I'm going to play it again on the computer, but then I'm going to click this button and I'm going to click Ian's iPhone, and it's going to play it over on my iPhone. This is the computer. Alright, now it's on my phone, just like that. And then I'm going to hit pause from my computer. It's going to pause it on my phone. Really cool. And I can do the same. So I've just hit play on my phone and pause on my phone too. It's just like that. Really cool. So you're probably wondering, well, where am I going with this? Well, there is a piece of software you can install on your Raspberry Pi, and it's going to be a Connect server for Spotify, so we can listen to Spotify right on our Raspberry Pi. You can see in this video that I've taken on my iPhone, I have my Raspberry Pi connected to a bunch of wires, and that is totally unneeded. That's for a different project that will be talked about at a later date, probably, maybe, who even knows at this point. I've been working on it for about a year now. So those wires don't really worry about them, excuse me. The only one you're going to need to worry about is that 3.5 millimeter audio cable that's going from the back of the Raspberry Pi to the back of my sound system. And also, of course, the power cable. Obviously, you need power. So now we're going to install this software on the Raspberry Pi that's going to make it a Connect server. So kind of what's going to happen is the Raspberry Pi is going to stay on all of the time, and because it's low power, it doesn't really draw a whole lot of power. So it's going to stay on all the time and act as that server. It's going to stay connected to our device, and then our device can be controlled by a remote. We can just turn it on and adjust the volume, and then we can control the music player, what songs are being played from our phone or computer, and yeah, that's that. So now we can go wherever we want to in the house as long as we're connected to the network and play it off of that Raspberry Pi, if that makes any sense. I'm really bad at explaining things, so hopefully that does make some sense. So anyway, we're going to need our Raspberry Pi. Obviously, you're going to need to go ahead and set up install Raspbian on it. I'm going to go ahead and open up the terminal, and that's an ugly color. So we're going to go ahead and open it in Homebrew, so we can make it look like we're actually doing something and we're hacking. Make it a little bit bigger so you can see, maybe even smaller. So anyway, we're going to need to SSH into our Raspberry Pi. And yes, you can do this if you want to go ahead and plug your Raspberry Pi up to a monitor. You can do that, no problem. But, I'm just going to go ahead and do this via SSH because it's a little bit better. And I kind of like SSHing the headless setup a little bit better. So we're going to go ahead and SSH into our Raspberry Pi, and slime.local. Alright, so you should know how to SSH into your Pi, and if you don't, and you're using the monitor setup, you should just log right in. And so anyway, we're into the Raspberry Pi, and all right, so we're logged in. So go ahead and follow the link in the description, and we're gonna go to this GitHub page by DT Cooper and the Raspotify GitHub page. Sorry, cannot think. So scroll on down, and it's really quite self-explanatory how to do it. You can use this if you copy this and paste it into the terminal, but I'm going to suggest you not do this. For the people who are kind of new to the Raspberry Pi thing and aren't very tech savvy, not necessarily tech savvy, but are kind of new to Linux and stuff. What this is doing is it's going to get this web page right here, and then whatever is on this page, it's going to this little pipe, and oh my god, stop. All right, sorry. So it's going to get whatever this is here, and we can actually see it right here. We follow the link. It's in his GitHub repository, and then this install.sh is what it's downloading right here. So this is what's going to be downloaded. But then this pipe and this sh means it's going to run it. It's going to run all of this code. And just a good rule of thumb is to never do that, because you don't know necessarily what they could be installing on your computer. So if you ever see something like this and you just have the pipe sh, make sure you read the source first, just for security reasons. So we're not going to do this. We're actually going to scroll down here, and we're going to do the hard installation, because the hard installation is what we need to do. So, and it's not necessarily safer, but it's just a little bit more straightforward on what we're doing, if that makes any sense. So go ahead and copy it and paste it and let it run. I'll fast forward for you. All right, and now it's downloaded. So now we're going to go ahead and go over here, and we're going to do the same thing to this and do that and hit enter. And it's going to be really quick for us. And we're going to do the same. We don't really need to do this, but let's just go ahead and do it because it says to do it. Go ahead and add that in, and wow, look at that, really cool. So now what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get a sudo apt update. So go ahead and do that, sudo apt get update. And I just did this not too long ago, so it shouldn't take that long. Yours may take longer if you haven't done it in a while. So yeah, I'm going to fast forward through that, and I'll get back to you once it's done. All right, cool beans, it's done. So we're going to go back over here, and now it says we're going to need to install Raspotify. So sudo apt get install Raspotify. I think I spelled that right. I'm just going to copy that because I don't think I spelled that right. That does not look right at all. All right. So now Raspotify is installed. Great. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to look up here where, look down here rather, sorry, where the config file is. And you don't need to do this. We can actually use it right now, but I am going to change the name and change the bitrate so we can get a little bit higher quality. So what we're going to need to do, where is that etc default Raspotify? So we're going to do sudo vim /etc/ what was it again? Default /ras. All right, now come on now. Raspotify, there we are right here. So we're going to hit I, and you don't have to use Vim if you don't want to. You can use Nano, Emacs, whatever you want, but I'm using Vim because I like Vim a little bit more. So we're going to change the name. We're just going to call it Raspberry Pi. Again, totally unneeded, but I'm going to because, why not, right? So we're going to change this bitrate to 320. As we can see right here, 96 is low quality, 160 is default quality, and 320 is high quality. I got a Raspberry Pi 3, so we should be able to handle it. So I'm going to go ahead and set that to 320. And go ahead and uncomment that right here. And then I'm going to, we're going to hit escape, WQ, write and quit. And here we are. So now that we've made this change, we are going to actually need to restart this service. So we're going to do. All right. So now we need to do sudo systemctl restart RAS Spotify. So we're going to go ahead and hit enter like that, and it's going to restart RAS Spotify. And now the server should be up and running, and we should be good to go. So let's go over here to our second monitor, our second screen, or desktop rather. All right. So now that we're back here, we're going to go ahead and open up Spotify right here. And now we should click on this right here, and we should be able to see Raspberry Pi right here. That's what we named it. So like I should mention too, every time you make a change to that config file, you're going to need to do the restart command just so it can make those settings take effect. So we're going to go ahead and play the song. This is on our computer right now. And we're going to switch on over to the Raspberry Pi and see what happens. And now you can hear it playing, probably at least, on our device that's about 10 feet away from you. So really cool. It's not as there's a little bit of latency between playing it on the computer and playing it on the Raspberry Pi compared to playing it on the computer and playing it on our phone. But it's really not that bad, and I can definitely work with it. So also, if we go over to our phone, we can also see it on the phone, the Raspberry Pi Connect on the phone as well. So anyway, that you should now know at the end of this video how to set up Spotify Connect server on your Raspberry Pi so you can listen to your music, your Spotify music on a sound system, or really any sound system, or really just on your Raspberry Pi. So cool beans, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment down in the description, down in the comments. Sorry, wow, crazy. Anyway, thank you. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching, and have a great day.